And I thought that was something for real, that I will retire.
81-year-old Antonia Becerra has spent the last 44 years working as a waitress here at this LA restaurant when one day her life changed forever with a phone call.
44 years. 44 years of early mornings, late nights, tired feet, carrying plates, serving every dollar she could. 81 years old, still working, still showing up, still dreaming of the day she could finally rest. And then one phone call, one single phone call, erased all of it. Not in months, not over years, in days. Before you move on, before you think this could never happen to someone you know, stay right here. Because by the end of this video, you are going to understand exactly how these criminals targeted an 81-year-old waitress, why she had no chance once the call started, and what you must do right now to make sure this never happens to someone you love. If you leave before this video ends, you leave without the one piece of information that could protect your family. So do not move. Meet Antonia Becerra, 81 years old, a resident of Glendale, California. For 44 years, Antonia has worked as a waitress at the same restaurant. 44 years of honest, disciplined hard work. She is not a woman who takes shortcuts. She is not a woman who makes reckless decisions. She is a woman who spent nearly half a century earning every single dollar she ever had. And she had a dream, simple and beautiful, to retire, to finally rest, to enjoy the years she had left. Then her phone rang. The man on the other end told her she had won millions of dollars. And Antonia, who had spent 44 years working for everything, felt something she had rarely allowed herself to feel: hope.
I sent them the money, and then a few days later, I had to send some more money, and some more money to get the package, what they call it, the package.
The package. They gave it a name, a concrete, physical, real-sounding name. The package. Something that was coming, something that was almost here, just one more payment away. This is one of the most calculated details of this type of scam. They do not just ask for money. They create an object of anticipation, a destination, a finish line that keeps moving every time you get close to it. The package is coming, just pay the processing fee, just pay the taxes, just pay the delivery charge. Just one more, just one more. And each time, Antonia paid, because 44 years of discipline does not disappear overnight. She followed the instructions, she kept the records, she trusted the process, because the process felt real. Now here is where the story goes from devastating to something that will make you genuinely angry. When Antonia ran out of money, when her life savings were completely gone, they did not stop.
I sold it and I sent them the money because he told me, you send the money today and tomorrow morning you get your $2 million and the brand new Mercedes.
They told her to sell her car, and she did, because they promised her, you send the money today, tomorrow morning you get $2 million and a brand new Mercedes. Tomorrow. It was always tomorrow. $65,000. Her entire life savings, plus her car, gone. Every single thing she had worked 44 years to build, handed over to criminals operating from thousands of miles away. And now she cannot pay her rent. An 81-year-old woman who has worked every single day of her adult life cannot pay her rent because one phone call found her hope and destroyed it. I want you to sit with that for a moment, because this is not a statistic. This is a human being who earned every dollar the hardest possible way and had it taken from her in days by people who never felt a moment of shame about it. Now let me explain exactly why this worked, because Antonia is not alone. This scam, lottery and prize fraud targeting seniors, is one of the fastest growing financial crimes in America, and it works for very specific calculated reasons. Reason 1, the prize is believable. Publishers Clearinghouse is real. Sweepstakes are real. People win real prizes every single day. The criminals who run these scams borrow that legitimate framework and attach their operation to it. When someone calls saying you have won, the concept itself is not absurd. Real people win things. Why not you? Reason 2, the fees make sense on paper. Taxes on winnings are real. Processing fees are a real concept. Legal documentation is a real requirement in many transactions. The criminals construct a financial logic that sounds completely plausible to someone who has no reason to know the difference. And why would Antonia know? She is a waitress, not a lawyer, not a financial expert. She trusted that the process being described was legitimate because nothing in her life experience told her it was not. Reason 3, the amounts start small. The first payment is never the whole amount. It is manageable, reasonable, a small fraction of what is coming. And by the time the payments have escalated to thousands, your brain has already accepted the framework. You are already inside the logic of the scam. And stopping feels more dangerous than continuing. Reason 4. They create urgency and deadlines. Send the money today and tomorrow morning you get your $2 million. That line is not accidental. Urgency kills careful thinking. Deadlines prevent consultation. When you believe that waiting means losing everything, you stop asking questions and start acting. That is exactly what they are engineering. Reason 5. They target isolation. Antonia lives alone. She goes to work. She comes home. She does not have someone sitting next to her when the phone rings. She does not have a partner to turn to and say, "Does this sound right to you?" Isolation is the environment these scams are designed to operate in. The moment a second person enters the conversation, the scam almost always collapses, which is why criminals work so hard to keep their victims alone with them. If this video is already making you think about someone in your life who could be vulnerable to exactly this kind of call, subscribe right now. Every week we cover real cases like Antonia's because understanding how these criminals operate is the only real protection available. Subscribe. 2 seconds. It might save someone you love everything they have worked for. And after $65,000 was gone, after her car was sold, after her rent could not be paid, the criminals still were not finished with Antonia. They went after something even more dangerous than her money.
Very careful. If they get a phone call from one of these men, that's wrong, that they're thieves.
Her social security number. This is the detail that turns a financial crime into something potentially permanent. Because money, as devastating as losing it is, can sometimes be rebuilt. A stolen social security number opens the door to identity theft that can follow a victim for the rest of their life. New accounts opened in their name. Tax fraud, medical fraud, credit destroyed. They were not just trying to take what she had, they were trying to take her identity so they could keep taking long after the first scam was over. This is the full picture of what these operations are designed to do. They do not see Antonia as a person. They see her as a resource to be fully extracted. Money first, identity second, and then on to the next victim. The money went to Nigeria. The Glendale Police Department says they have no leads and do not expect any of it to be recovered. 44 years of work, gone overseas, zero chance of return. So what do you do? Right now, today. Here are the rules that would have protected Antonia and will protect you and everyone you love. Rule 1. If anyone calls to tell you that you have won a prize, hang up. No legitimate sweepstakes notifies winners by phone with a request for upfront payment. Not PCH, not any government agency, not any legitimate organization. If the call begins with "you have won," the call is a scam. Hang up immediately. Do not engage. Do not argue. Just hang up. Rule 2. No legitimate prize ever requires you to pay to receive it. Processing fees, taxes, delivery charges, legal stamps, storage fees, none of these are real requirements of any legitimate prize in the United States. The moment money is requested before the prize arrives, the prize does not exist. End the call. Rule 3. Never sell personal property to fund a payment to someone you cannot verify. The moment a caller tells you to sell your car, liquidate your savings, or take out a loan to fund a payment, that is not a prize process. That is a predator removing every financial safety net you have before disappearing. Stop all contact immediately and call someone you trust. Rule 4. Never give your social security number to anyone who contacts you unsolicited. No government agency, no bank, nobody who calls you out of nowhere needs your social security number to deliver a prize. This request alone, regardless of everything else, is the signal to end the call and report it immediately. Rule 5. Call a family member before sending a single dollar. One phone call to someone who loves you, before any money moves, breaks the spell every single time. Scammers create urgency specifically to prevent this call from happening. They tell you there is no time. They tell you it must be today. That pressure is the proof that something is wrong. Slow down, call someone, every time, and if you love someone who is elderly and lives alone, call them regularly. Ask specific questions. Has anyone called you about winning something? Has anyone asked you to send money or pay fees? Has anyone asked for your social security number? Make these questions normal. Make them comfortable, because the conversation Antonia needed before that first payment left her account is available to every family right now. The Glendale Police Officers Association stepped in to help Antonia. They volunteered to pay a month of her rent. They are trying to raise money to support her, but they were honest about what they could not do. They cannot get her $65,000 back. They cannot undo 44 years of savings lost in days. They cannot give back the car she sold. They cannot restore what was taken. All they can do, all any of us can do, is make sure this warning reaches the next person before the next call comes in. Antonia is 81 years old. She is still going to work every day, still catching rides with her coworkers because her car is gone, still showing up, still working. At 81 years old, after 44 years, because there is no longer a choice, that image, an 81-year-old woman catching rides to work because criminals took her car, is something that should make every single one of us angry enough to do something about it. Share this video with your parents, your grandparents, your neighbors, anyone in your life who is older, who lives alone, who still answers the phone when it rings. Because right now, as you are watching this, someone's phone is ringing with a voice telling them they have won something extraordinary. The question is, will they know what you now know? Before you go, watch the next video on this channel. Because Antonia lost $65,000 to a phone call that promised her a package that never came. The next case we cover, the victim never even received a phone call. The scam came through a text message. 3 sentences, no voice, no relationship, no emotional buildup whatsoever. And they still lost everything. Because the tactics are evolving, the entry points are changing, and everything you learned today is only part of the picture. If you think you now know enough to protect the people you love, watch that next video. Because these criminals update their methods constantly and the next version of this scam already looks completely different. Subscribe, because the next target does not know they are a target yet. Neither did Antonia.